Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, we will be having JavaScript variable naming conventions, and we will also have some questions based on these topics only, just to check your knowledge of these topics. So trust me, learning this thing will make your code look clean, easier to read, as well as more professional. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. So first, we should always use CamelCase to name our variables. So it means first word should be lowercase and then subsequent word should start with uppercase. So it means, so let's say if you have username, so this is your camel case. So as I told you, the first word should start with lowercase, then the subsequent words should start with uppercase. Then the next point is simply your variable name must start with letters, underscores, as well as dollar symbol. So it should start with letters simply like alphabets with underscore or simply dollar symbol, and it should not start with numbers. And then you should always choose meaningful names. So it means, so let's say if you want to calculate the age of several users, so let's say you want to calculate the age of certain users, so that time instead of simply having the variable name as, let's say, simply for user age A or maybe X, you should have meaningful names, that is your user age, your username. So this way you need to have meaningful names. So it means if anyone is reading your code, then by reading the code, they will get to know for what purpose your variable is. Then the next point, you should avoid reserved keywords. That is simply your let var and const. So it means you should not have this kind of thing. Let's say, so this is wrong as we use reserved keyword for naming our variable. So you should avoid this. Then the next point, so for your unchanging values, you should always use constants. Like for constant values, so for this we have a common convention is to use uppercase letter with underscore. So let's say if you want to have maximum size, so that time, let's say you have your API key, that time again your common convention uppercase with underscore. So this rule is for constant values like your unchanging values. So let's say we have several examples of good variable naming as well as poor variable namings. So as we have let first name is equal to John. As we have let first name is equal to John, then let your username equal to 30. Then for constant value, that is maximum size, simply 100. So now let's have simple example of poor variable namings. So for first name, simply your FN, that is for first name. then for simply user age, then simply doing this type of thing, underscore y, underscore z. So you should avoid these kind of things like naming the variables this way. Here we have good variable names, simply, and here poor variable names. So you should always name your variables this way. And let me tell you a fun fact. So in JavaScript, we have a nan, that is not a number, a special value, which is not equal to itself. Yes, you heard it right. So it is simply your not a number. So it is a special value. It is not equal to itself. So just remember this thing. Sometimes you will get a question based on this for your technical rounds, although it is very simple, but sometimes it can be asked. So now let's have 2 or 3 questions just to check your knowledge of naming conventions. So as we have the question, you need to guess the correct option. It says which of the following is a valid and recommended variable name in JavaScript. So just try to answer this on your own. So it will be simply your second option. So as it starts from underscore and we have camel casing as well. And why this is wrong? Starts with number, that is not allowed. And here we have reserved keyword, which is also not allowed. And here we use hyphen, which is also not allowed. Then which of these constant names follows the recommended naming convention? So what is the recommended naming convention? So as I told you, it should be uppercase as well as an underscore. So your correct option would be simply this, as we have uppercase as well as underscore. So the last question. So you need to guess this output. So what would be the output of this code? So as we have nan stored in variable a and it's compared to itself. So just now I told you that your nan is not equal to itself. So this will simply give output as false. So yes, that's it for this video. Hope you understood the naming conventions of variables in JavaScript. So as this video is generally for the beginners who have just started their journey with JavaScript. So now hope you understood how to have naming conventions of the variables and how you can name your variables in a best way. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.